Hey, we're back. How to Barbecue Right Podcast. We've got another guest with us for this episode. It's my good buddy, Chad Ward from Traeger Grills. Chad, man, thanks for coming down to Hernando and hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Man, happy to be here. It's going to be an awesome weekend.
Yeah, but we're excited. You know, our grand opening's going on. We're going to do a video together. You got a recipe. I know we kind of talked about it a little bit, but we're gonna do some cooking on some Traegers, and we're gonna have a good time, man. I'm excited.
Absolutely, so am I. And I got to tell you, man, this headquarters you guys have built here, along with the store, is absolutely gorgeous. Kind of gives me something to work towards. It's awesome.
Well, we kind of felt like we lucked into this building because it's kind of worked out for everything we needed. It's got the warehouse space, it's got the rooms for the classrooms and demos and stuff, and then we got a podcast studio that it was kind of here already, and then the little retail. That's kind of what the shop is, and what we're trying to draw people here with, and so it's it's kind of all in one shop.
No, it's a great spot. And speaking of classroom, man, how much do you miss teaching?
Oh, dude, the COVID's messed us all up, and that's what I wanted. That was one of the questions I had when me and Shell were talking. When's the shop classes starting back at Traeger?
We go back and forth. We've I hate using the word pivot. I don't use it. Like it's been used way too much during the whole COVID thing. But we made two big changes at Traeger when we couldn't do the shop class tour anymore. First one being we started with the Traeger Kitchen Lives, that we do on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook channel. And those have been great. I think we've done about 33, 35 of those. We're doing them every 2 weeks now, but it was just a way to engage. I know for me, as someone that was on the road, 225 days a year, I mean, those first couple of months of quarantine was like,
was you going crazy?
Well, I live by myself, dude. So I'm talking to the walls, and I love to talk. You know what I mean? So it was a interesting time. So I know we started those Traeger Kitchen Lives, and that was great. And then we've got another offering called private table classes, and so we usually do those on Thursdays and Saturdays, and it's kind of cool. It's a Zoom class, 10 to 15 people, and I think I've done probably 20, 25 of those, and they've been good. I really like those because when you. And you know this from doing the YouTubes and Facebooks. Yeah, you're talking to hundreds of people at a time or thousands, but the feedback loop is 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes delayed.
Yeah. Whereas
when you're doing the Zoom class, it's almost like being in a real classroom because you can see reactions, you can kind of play off of your crowd. So we've done those two things and they've been successful. But man, it's still nothing like going to one of our awesome retailers and getting to meet all their folks or our beautiful HQ. And the big difference with the Zoom classes or Traeger Kitchen Live is they can't taste it.
Yeah. I mean, that says a lot.
I feel like the biggest jerk in the world when I'm like, oh, well, let me tell you how it tastes.
Yeah.
People
really
are throwing.
good.
Yeah, people are throwing things at their TV, at their computer screen. Like that ain't fair.
We just can't beat the in-person feel you get from it. That's
yeah.
And that's me. I could have done some Zoom classes and things like that, but I just didn't feel like people were getting the same experience. I mean, you can watch my videos if you want to see how to cook something. Mm-hmm. When you come to a class, it's about being there and eating the food and smelling the smells and seeing how we work the grills.
Shaking the hands.
All the isms that we use and everything, it's all that. So
yeah. No, I agree. And I think, I got Pittman on board, so hopefully I can get you on board. I think when the world settles down, me and Pittman come here and do a class. Me and you go to Pittman's to do a class, and then you and Pittman come to my place.
I'm
to do
down,
a class.
man. That's a good.
And we could hit all areas of the country, right? Mississippi, Texas, Florida.
That's it.
I think it'd be a blast. And then when Canada opens up, I know we all work with Dixon's, I believe. You work with Dixon's?
Yeah, but I've never been to Canada ever.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I've done a couple of classes up in Toronto, outside of Toronto, and dude, they love their barbecue up there. I'm sure you see it from your YouTube channel.
Constantly. I bet I get 30, 40 emails a day, just people. Hey, can you ship something to Canada for me?
Yep.
Hey, can you ship something to Canada? I mean,
yeah, no,
we have a few. We don't nothing like Traeger has, but it's amazing how much those guys are into barbecue up there, man.
They really, really are.
Oh, so y'all are talking about doing a tour?
Yeah,
a tour T-shirt.
It's a tour. Oh, yeah. Can we make a tour T-shirt? And everything?
If we're doing a tour, we got to do a T-shirt.
Boys are back. I want it like the Molly Hatchet style.
Yeah, there you go. No, I just think
38 special.
That'd be a ton of fun.
I think it would too. We got to go out. We lucked up the year before COVID. We went to Matt's, and we was planning on going back.
Yeah,
we had such a good time out there.
Well, now he's got that little storefront too. He's got a nice
he was
nice
just
store.
He was just opening it up. He had it open. We were there. We got to go over there, and that's kind of where we finished the class and let people, peruse and pick up some items and things like that. But it's cool.
Yeah, no,
that's a cool little town. Like that.
It is, yeah. Especially that area. He's in that downtown area. It's just got a lot of nostalgia. I mean, it kind of feels like you're in small town Texas, USA.
Yeah, right there in Dallas.
Yeah.
It was easier for me to get to because we're on this side. You probably flew in.
Yeah,
we drove.
Yeah, and it's not. Yeah, you definitely look out because you get on that south side of
Dallas.
You
don't mess with downtown at all. So I was going to ask you. You said, are you still splitting time between Utah and Florida? Or are you mainly hanging out at home?
Right now, I've just been staying at home. I've been in Utah 3 times since COVID. One of them was a bunch of the guys from the office said, "Hey, we're having a golf tournament. You got to come out." Another one was I just got to missing the guys on what we call our community team on the marketing team, the guys that handle the influencers and ambassadors and that kind of stuff. And then it wasn't until 2 weeks ago I actually went in the office in Utah, and it was cool. Got to catch up with Jeremy a little bit, and we've gotten really good at working remote, and we've just been one of the brands that have been so fortunate during this time. I mean, the growth we've seen between 19 and 20 has been remarkable.
Yeah. Because you've had grills.
Yeah, we've had grills.
That's been a big problem in the industry. Is people just didn't have something to sell.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, we've got stuff to sell. We wish we had more stuff to sell, but I think everybody's in that boat right now, and it's no lack of effort. I mean, I know for us right now, one of the biggest things, and it's completely out of your control, is the ports.
Oh yeah,
is there's some people that when I'm talking to guys that on other brands that are saying, man, we've had containers in port for 30, 45, 60 days and just haven't got them unloaded. And that's what really stinks is when you got product and you just can't get it unloaded.
Oh, yeah.
We've been through that.
We have.
Well, and you had to go through, too, at the beginning. I know we went through it with our rub line at Whiskey Bent is when lids became an issue.
Oh, yeah.
When bottles became an issue. And then everybody starts hoarding up bottles because it's like, well, dude, I don't want to run out of it. You know what I mean? And it's like.
The price shoots up and you don't want to have to take the price increase on your customer because everybody's hurting.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
It's a bad, and we're not in the clear on the plastic stuff.
No.
I got an email this week saying there's still going to be plastic shortage because, they switched everything to sanitizer. That was what got the lid. They said everything was being used, and then the resin or whatever they're using to make the caps with. Well, the same thing's happening with that PET plastic that they're using for the sauce bottles and things.
Yep. Well, and the other one that's been interesting to watch is nitro gloves.
Oh man, what?
I saw you're carrying them in your store. I had to quit carrying them in mine because my wholesale price went up like 4x.
Triple. Yeah, ours triple.
Yeah.
What I used to could get, I think it was $8 or $9 box of gloves, is now like $20-something.
I'm in that same boat with you. Yeah.
And you can't just pass that on to the customer.
No,
I mean, we're basically. The guy, we order them. We got like a glove rep.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, we don't know when we're getting them. If we get some, we'll send them to you. So he'll email us out of the blue, hey, we got 20 boxes. Do you want them? We're like, heck yeah, send them to us,
Yeah,
but then when they're gone, they're gone. You don't never know when you're going to get them. I've tried sourcing them all different places. There's just none.
Yeah, we have too, and it's been absolutely crazy because it seems like every time I do a Traeger Kitchen Live or something, and I do the same thing you do, the cotton gloves with the nitros over the top. And it was always nice to be able to go, you can just go to Whiskey Bent Barbecue Supply and pick them up there, blah, blah, blah. And now it's like, well, I don't know where you can pick them up at.
No, you're lucky. You could say Harbor Freight or whatever, yeah. I mean, I understand they need them. That's part of, PPE.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I'd rather somebody in a hospital, doctor's office or whatever, emergency situation, have a glove than us barbecue guys, but I do miss them.
I mean, we ain't that.
I've hoarded me a few boxes, but if you'll notice, a lot of times I got down to master in the one hand. I don't like to put them on two anymore.
Yeah,
I'll do as much stuff as I can with one.
Completely agree.
But
have you ever cooked a low and slow pork butt?
Yes.
On a Traeger?
Yes.
That's what we did for our recipe.
That was our recipe this week, and I'm gonna tell you, Chad. It'll give anybody's a run for the money. If people think you can't get bark and you can't get smoke ring and you can't get smoke flavor on a pellet grill, they're wrong.
Especially depending on if you're using that ironwood or you're using that timberline where we've kind of built that algorithm with super smoke, which you can use under 225, puts about 3 times more smoke in the chamber. I mean, it builds great bark, it builds great flavor, and that was one of the things when it's funny, but Jeremy Andrus and Tri-Atlantic bought Traeger 7.5 years ago, and I've been around for about 7 years of that ride. And I remember when I first got the opportunity they said, hey, we got a blank sheet of paper. We want you to help us build a grill that competition guys would be proud of. And what came out of that was the first version of the Timberline. And I was one of the guys that said, man, we need, and I didn't call it super smoke. I said, man, we need some kind of method at lower temp where we can just get more smoke on the meat, you know?
Excuse me.
And I know I'm choking old Malcom up over here. And, but no, I mean, I'm super proud of where the product lines came, where it's, where it's going. It's been pretty remarkable, but it means a lot to me that you'll say that, because I know you've cooked on everything under the sun, and for you to be happy enough with it and say it can go up against anything, that means a lot.
No, that's exactly. I mean, the Traeger Timberline, dude, that's the best cooking pellet grill I've had. I've owned the Yoders, cooked on Memphis, different model Traegers, Louisiana. Mm-hmm. That Timberline, it's a machine.
Yeah, no, it's really built, the way you can retain heat in it. And I mean, that thing, whether you're at 200, 225 or you're at 350, 375, it's usually within 2-3 degrees either way.
Always.
Yeah.
Very video. It's my favorite grill.
I didn't say anything about super smoke in the video because I know everybody don't have that.
Yeah. No, that's very true.
Super smoke, shoot.
Yep. That's just an added bonus. I mean, I've gotten plenty of, really good smoke off of just a Pro Series that doesn't have that feature either,
Yeah. What does it do?
So there's an algorithm in there that between the way that we drop the pellets and the way that we regulate the air going to it, it just allows it to create more blue smoke than under regular operation mode. Yeah.
It's just slowing that auger down.
Yep. Slowing that auger down.
Letting that pellet burn more.
And pulse in the air kind of more quickly, and then kind of take a quick break and then pulse it some more. So kind of really ignite the pellet, let that smoke build, sit back, and then provide more air to it to generate the smoke a little bit harder. Okay. But always focused on that clean blue smoke. Wanting to make sure it's not that on non-combusted creosote type.
So do you get questions on why can't you do it over 225?
Yes, and it's because and the reason you can't do it over 225 is you have to feed the pellets at a higher rate to get to that over 225 temperature, which takes away the added amount of smoke that you get on a super smoke setting.
So the Traeger just figured out in the lab that
exactly.
That's the optimal point to where it's not going to work.
Yeah, there's no unlock code that if you pay us $50, you can
you can get the super smoke at 300.
Yeah.
We need that.
Yeah, it was just the physics behind it.
Yeah. So we would need a double auger system that was creating that while the other one was feeding.
There you go.
That's been our go-to
separate smoke fire pot. That's what I've been wanting to do. To design a separate smoke chamber, because everybody wants to use a smoke tubes or whatever. Fill these up. I mean, they really don't work.
Right.
Kind of work, really don't work. But if you had another fire pot in there that was your smoke fire pot, and you could control it separately, it was producing smoke while your other one was generating BTUs.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
You could be doing some smoking then.
Dang sure could.
That's what I think about when I drink whiskey. But no, I did. So the pork butt I cooked, it was about 10. It was a big pork butt, 10 pounds. I think it was 10.5 pounds, wasn't it? 14 hours. And I started out on 200.
Mm-hmm.
And I went that for 8 of the hours. I put it on, went to bed, and then got up. And then just said, okay, I'll bump it, 220, something like that. Still keeping it in super smoke range.
Yep.
Man, you talk about juicy. I did fat down and then bark all over the outside. And it was, it'll never get, you can't get it above 190. I think that's about top out when you keep it at those temps. Mm-hmm. But it's let go of every bit of fat in itself, and it just turns it to liquid juice, just flavor all in there. You pull it off, and man, it was just.
It gets that good crunchy bark on the outside. Yeah. It's really good. It's been our go-to pork butt here
lately. It's got the old school flavor, man.
Yeah, no, it really does, and
with no touch in it.
Yeah, and I love those overnight cooks like that. I've been doing an overnight brisket. Just set that baby at 185. Super smoke, let it go overnight. You got a big enough hopper, you ain't got to worry about pellets.
For those first 8 hours at 200, I burned 2 inches of pellets. It wasn't even down very past the lip.
Yep. No, and then when you get up in the morning, you can kind of decide where you want to go with it. You know what I mean? Depending on if you're serving for lunch, you're serving for dinner, you want to build some more bark, you want to get it done,
wrap it up,
whatever the case may be. I remember I started doing that a couple years ago. Actually, me and Pittman were cooking an event at Nike. And I was like, man, we're going to go out with the Nike guys and party a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to be messing around with a brisket at 2-3 in the morning. And so we just put that baby on at 10 o'clock before we went out and 185 didn't. We kind of stumbled home and looked at it like,
perfect.
Oh man, it's working out. Let's go to bed. You know,
some of my best barbecue has been cooked that very same way, Chad.
Yep.
Just like put it on, screw it. It don't matter. Let's go.
Yep.
Have a good time. We'll come back and check on it later. As long as the power don't go out, you're gold.
As long as the power don't go out, we got a way to fix it.
You weren't opening it. You weren't spraying it. You weren't jacking with it. You weren't, sitting there worried about the clock. You just letting it do its thing.
And I'll tell you, you brought it up with spraying. I mean, when it comes to cooking on a Traeger, I bet I may spray 2% of the time, and it's just because some anomaly. You know what I mean? Where, it's just a nice moist cook. You don't really need to.
Have to. Yeah.
I definitely understand on other when I used to run stick burners, this and that, absolutely get it. It's a definite different heat, dry heat.
Oh, hickory. If I don't spray, it's moving so much convection air in there, it'll turn something into jerky on the top.
Absolutely. But man, that Traeger's just got a nice damp heat to it, and I just rarely find myself having to spritz anything.
Yeah. So, for people that don't know, Chad, what are you officially doing for Traeger?
So, for Traeger, I am, it's kind of a cool title, Director of Barbecue Marketing.
I love it.
So that's
one of the best titles there is in the company.
So my, and I'm about to have I've been with the brand 7 years. The first 2 years was kind of a spokesperson, ambassador, and then the last July will be my 5-year employee anniversary. And my responsibility is just, really promoting the brand, going out and working with different ambassadors. That's how me and you hooked back up, just said, hey, love to get a Traeger to you. And, once again, it's one of those things where, and I do it not just in barbecue, but in country music and athletics.
That's what I was figuring. So you say ambassadors, we're talking about superstars.
Yeah. No,
you're the superstar contact. You're kind of the go between Traeger and these big time people.
I was telling the guys in the break room, talking to the guy from Swine Life and this and that. And I said, man, if you'd have told me 10 years ago this was going to be my job, like it's amazing. And a couple weeks ago, the Super Bowl week, I was did an Instagram live with Justin Herbert, friggin' Rookie of the Year for the NFL. And 2 weeks before that was cooking with King Griffey Jr. at his house, which seems to be like an every monthly thing now.
Yeah.
And just, man, it's cool. And I think the one thing it says about barbecue is, King Griffey Jr., 630 home runs, this and that. But Chad, I need to learn how to cook a brisket hot and fast.
Yeah.
Like barbecue flows through everybody's veins. You know what I mean? And it's cool to be able to have the skill set and the knowledge level to be able to, this guy's wanting to pick my brain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting here just trying not to be a geek. Like, well, dude, let me talk to you about when you 1-2 count, so-and-so's on the mound. And, but it's cool because, it just, barbecue resonates within all. It's just awesome to be a part of. And so, so that's my title. So I do a lot of the, customer facing stuff for Traeger. But yeah, Director of Barbecue Marketing.
That's a heck of a job.
Yeah.
So have you got to go cook with Joe Rogan yet? I know y'all got him some Traegers.
I've cooked with Rogan. I've cooked at elk camp with him 2 or 3 times.
Really?
I will tell you what, if you like Joe and Joe's show, same thing I say about Dan Patrick. They're 10 times even more genuine in person.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. And Joe, like when Joe's passionate about something, like elk hunting, like cooking, like archery, dude is all in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I remember when he tagged out and you gonna go home early? He's like, no, I'm just gonna hang out with Chad and and help him and learn how to cook some stuff. And it's like, dude, it's so rad. But it's so humbling when those guys, want to share camp with you. And well, we're going to elk camp. Oh, well, Chad's got to come, or that's fun.
I want to see you get Bert. He's cooking on this daggum Rectex. Bert Kreischer.
I know.
You got to get him a Traeger, man. It hurts me every time I see him talk about his Rectex. He hauls that thing around on tour with him and cooks for people.
I know, and I actually tried reaching out through a couple of different channels before he did that, just because I think Kreischer's friggin' hilarious
machine, man.
Yeah, exactly. And but yeah, we'll see if we can't get him converted.
Yeah, I need to see him with one. We Tom Segura come to Memphis. Was during COVID?
Right before COVID.
Right before COVID, and we got the chance to go see him live. It was killer, man.
I still got to say one of the coolest things, speaking of Memphis in May, is...
Oh, yeah, we got that coming up, hopefully.
Yeah, 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember. 2 or 3. Looking across the way, we get set up, this and that. Look across the way, and there stands Dave Grohl in our buddy Billy Terrell's tent. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
And it's been cool, you know, because Dave's got such a passion for cooking. I mean, he's totally legit into
He's into it, man.
Yeah, me and my buddy Tim Montana went out and cooked with his charity probably a year and a half ago out in California.
Yeah.
And dude, that guy stayed up all night with the pit. Like, he's not one of those guys like
You running his lane?
goes you know, what, 108 I think.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's not one of those dudes that just goes to bed and, you know, hey, tend the fire. Like, I mean, I think he slept 90 minutes and then was standing right next to me serving barbecue for 4 hours the next day. Like, super
Did he cook?
cool. Yeah, it was good food. Yeah, he can cook.
No, he came walking through our booth at Memphis and May, and I
Shell flipped out. I was like,
I mean, I grew
Yeah.
up, you know.
Absolutely.
I did.
I was
had a little
talking.
moment.
I was talking to some guys, and he come up and just gave me a big old hug. I was like, "Who is this guy?" You know, I was like, I don't know. He's like, "Hey, man, I'm a big fan of yours. I'm Dave Grohl." And I was like, "Oh, man.
I'm a big fan of yours.
Yeah."
buddy.
But look, the dude I was talking to got pissed. He didn't give a flip about Dave Grohl. He wanted to talk to me, and so I thought he was going to hit Dave Grohl. I was like, hold up, man. I'll be with you."
I'll get back when you're here to say.
Yeah. I was like, please don't hit him, man. He's just here to talk barbecue. He's a cool guy. I promise he's a cool guy.
Oh,
He's
my
a
God.
guitar player, you know, Nirvana.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
So you said that you're coming to the house. You're doing a video this week with us.
Yes.
Will be released on our YouTube channel. What you cooking?
We're going to do, you know, Malcolm kind of said, man, do something that just says Traeger. And I think the one thing about Traeger that's awesome that you don't get with a lot of other grills, you can cook the whole dang meal on it. So we're going to do just a basic, you know, spatchcock chicken, brine it for a couple hours, dry it off, season it up, throw it on at 375. We're going to let it go for a little bit and then get our Brussels sprouts prepped and do some balsamic Brussels sprouts. And that way, yeah, we'll put those on a little bit into the chicken cook, but that to me just proves,
Do it all at the same time.
boom, one grill, you know, it all pulls off at the same time. Let's eat.
Asparagus is one of the best things. Asparagus is the best on a pellet grill.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Asparagus work. To me, what I do with asparagus usually is when I'm reverse searing my steak, I'll throw it on the top rack. And then usually by the time my steak's rested, that asparagus
done, ready.
at 450, 500 after,
Yeah.
you know, 8, 12 minutes, it's ready to go.
Oh yeah, it's too easy.
Yep.
Toss it in a little olive oil, little salt, pepper, garlic action. You don't need much.
No, not at all. Yeah, I'm one of those with veggies. I mean, you know, don't try to cover them up. Kind of raise
let
them up.
Yeah,
So you sear your steak first and
No.
then move it up to the top?
first.
I'm a reverse sear.
Okay.
So when I'm searing my steaks at the end, then I'll throw my asparagus on the top rack.
Gotcha.
You know, because at that higher heat, it only needs 12, depending on
Tops.
how big the asparagus.
Yeah, if you get those
is.
thumb size,
You get
ones,
those
like
thumb size.
tree trunks. I hate those. I like when that young asparagus.
Yeah.
It's tender.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the best.
Those don't take long at all.
No, I'm down with that. I'm looking forward to the Brussels sprouts. So, do you do bacon in them, or
I do bacon and a little balsamic vinegar. That's in a little cook. So usually I'll kind of roast them off, and then towards the end I'll add some chicken stock, some balsamic vinegar, and the bacon.
So it kind of makes a little sauce
Yep.
type that cooks down.
Yeah.
there? What, you do them in like a cast iron skillet or?
Cast iron skillet or a little bit deeper sheet pan. either one.
yeah. Oh, on sheet pan that'd work too.
Yeah. So, but it works out really well. And man, Brussels is one of those things I never liked until I had them off the grill.
That I'm the same. I remember Brussels sprouts. They would say, "Oh, we'll put cheese on them. You'll like them."
Mm-hmm.
But they're always boiled and just
No flavor.
no flavor. Bad cabbage flavor. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not eating this. I refused to until we started learning how to cook them on a grill and they were more roasted style.
Yep.
And then they pop with flavor.
They do.
They're
really
so
do.
good.
And when you're talking about Brussels too, they'll kind of take on wherever you lead them. You know what I mean? As far as flavor profile,
Yeah.
I mean they're not super overpowering. So it's one of those. It's nice. It's got a good good crunch, good mouthfeel. And my favorite is I always when I'm trimming them, if those leaves fall off, I go ahead and throw them in the skillet
they
or on
crisp
the,
up.
Oh man, like a little chip. Yeah, a little chip.
Little Brussels chips.
Yep.
That's better than a kale chip any day.
Absolutely agreed, my friend.
Well, I half them.
Yeah, I half them.
Is that what you do too?
Yep. So when I'll stem them and then I'll half them, and when I half them, if those leaves come off, they're
there.
going in.
Yeah. Have you ever just kept any of your bacon fat and got it a little warm and drizzled it over them before you season them?
So what I'll end up doing is I'll put a little bit of olive oil on them and season them. But what we'll do is I'll have those Brussels on the bottom rack, and then on the middle rack, we'll have the bacon cooking over the top of it, so it kind of cooks down into it hot.
Yeah, lets it drip down into it.
Yep, and then once it gets done, we'll take and cut it up and put it in there.
That's all day.
Yeah, exactly. Two big boys ain't gonna say no to that, are they?
No, we're eating healthy.
That's right. We eat greens, man.
Yeah, chicken and greens. Man, our doctors ought to be proud of us.
Man.
They didn't have to know about the 3 pounds of bacon hanging over. You got to make it taste good.
Ain't got to tell all the secrets.
That's right. So what's Traeger have coming up on the year? We're going to get to see Traeger at Memphis in May if they have it. Or we're going to see some more festival type stuff. Or
I'm working on that right now. Trying to get, we're talking about Memphis in May. It's just one of those things that's it's almost dang near in the middle, right? Like we're starting to see numbers get better. You know what I mean? So we'll see. I mean, I would love for us to be there, but have talked to Kevin over at Memphis in May, and I got another call with our group on Monday, and just kind of evaluate the whole situation. But would love to be there. We've been doing some small veteran events, which is really big to us. I mean, we love giving back to our military, love giving back to the communities that have helped us build. Got a couple things in the country music space coming up, not sponsoring any tours or anything like that, but just some cool, doing it in April. I'll be doing an event with Brantley Gilbert for some veterans. So we just try to, right now, I don't know when shop classes will come back. I mean, I'm going to say worst case beginning of 2022. If we could sneak a couple in, fourth quarter at HQ, without going on the road, that'd be awesome. But just kind of a wait and see approach. I mean, we've kind of taken, and budget wise, the second half of the year, we've got budget for certain events, but once again, we're just going to do what's right and responsible. But man, when we can get back out there, it's going to be a big shop class tour. It's going to be, believe me, we have missed it just as much as people have missed coming and being a part of the stuff we do.
Most definitely. What about game day? I always like turning on TV and seeing the Traeger there at game day. Did you get? I mean, COVID kind of put a damper on some of that way, didn't it?
Yeah. So I was on tour with the game day guys all year in 2019. So I'd usually fly in on a Wednesday or a Thursday, cook for the whole crew on Friday, and then do Saturday. And if it was a game I wanted to stay for, I did. If it wouldn't, I was
fly
out on the next Saturday afternoon flight. It was really cool. And it's been a great recognition for us. I mean, we know that the college sports fan is in our demographic.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially here in the SEC, down here. But even, as I got to go to other places, I mean, I went to North Dakota State. There was a North Dakota State, South Dakota State game. I go into this little old diner I'd read about, it was supposed to have the best $2.50 cheeseburger you can find, and went in there, and it was kind of like 3:00 in the afternoon. Nobody's in there, and the owner comes out and he goes, "Man, you're that Traeger guy." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess so." I'm like, "Shit, I guess we got recognition on the Dakotas too." And so that was, but yeah, game day was huge, and we'll continue to be a part of that this year. Based on what capacity, I don't know. I mean, I made so many good friends on that game day crew, and that game day crew at its biggest is, about 150, 170 people.
Wow.
Is what it takes to pull it together.
Just to show up at a school and put that on?
Absolutely, because you've got all the guys that, you've got a crew of 6 guys that run the overhead cameras. You've got all the producers. You've got all the guys jockeying the equipment here to there. So you think about it.
You don't see all that.
You don't. It's all behind the snes.
Yeah.
I honestly thought, like, when we were having our first introductory calls about it, I'm like, okay, so on Friday when I cook for the crew, what are we cooking for? Like, 40, 50 people? No.
You would pack lunch.
And then you have all the other brands too. You've got Coca-Cola, you got Home Depot, you've got, you know what I mean? But
you're the only food guy though, right?
Exactly. The interesting thing about it is we don't shop for that until Friday morning. So we'll literally, they get done, we'll go out Friday morning as soon as the grocery store opens. So we cook a bunch of quick cook stuff.
Who
dogs,
decides what
pork chops, that kind of thing. And then we don't have anywhere to store that much food.
Yeah. Because there's no refrigeration. Right?
Exactly.
So
we literally go in and run up a $1,500 tab at a grocery store, which we end up being their favorite game to ever come in town.
Yeah.
And then literally we go back and cook it, and we serve it 12:30.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun.
What's your crew look like to
pull that off? Yeah.
So what happens is usually it's just me, but there's a Roadkill Grills, what they call themselves. It's a group of 8 or 10 guys that are staff on game day that help. So they've been doing it. I'm kind of in addition, that and the Traeger's in addition to the crew.
Okay, they're used to cooking for the crew.
They're used to it. We've just taken it kind of to another level, a little more elevated, and using the Traeger instead of what they were using in the past.
Gotcha.
Tommy Marshall. He's the guy that created Roadkill Grill, I think, 13, 14 years ago. He's worked on game day since the inception.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So, no, that's been fun. And then, the Dan Patrick Show, I mean, that's been a big – those two things have really been huge for Traeger from a, really integration in the sports world.
Can Dan cook on it?
I'll tell you what, man, Dan has gotten much, much better at cooking on it. I mean,
much better.
Yeah, he embraces it. Me and Julie went up there, Girl Meets Grill on Instagram. We went up there for the Super Bowl and worked our butt off this year. Usually what we do with a crew of 5 or 6, me and her did by ourselves because we were trying to keep the crew low. I mean, we went and got COVID tested, all that stuff. And Julie made a grouper with the Traeger Black and Saskatchewan and a little pineapple sauce on top. Dan ate 5 pieces of it. 5 sides of grouper. I've never seen him eat so much of something in his life. And then literally he's like, dude, you got to give me that recipe. I'm like, Dan, it's so easy. It's like,
you can do it.
$3.50, Black and Saskatchewan, pineapple sauce over the top. He's like, well, how do I make the pineapple sauce? I was like, you go to the grocery store and you buy this brand. Yeah. And he's like, no way, that's out of the produce case? I was like, that's out of the produce case. and so literally, the flying home that day, he's like, dude, I can't find grouper up here. Can I use monkfish? I was like, yeah, monkfish we find. It's just
where do you find monkfish?
Dude, readily available in Connecticut.
I guess so. Grouper, I got that.
Yeah, and
so that the freezer.
Yeah, I had to fly the grouper up there, because we were doing kind of the whole Tampa Bay thing versus Kansas City thing, so had to have the grouper. And then he ended up finding a fishmonger there in town, and now can get him grouper. But he was so proud. I mean, he did it with that monkfish 2 days later, and it all turned out phenomenal.
Grouper's a good eating fish. It really is.
Oh man, one of my favorite. That and redfish. Ooh,
yeah.
But yeah, it was different this year. I mean, this is the first time I've been doing the Dan Patrick Show for 5 years, and this is the first time we haven't been on site. Yeah. And it was 45 minutes.
So you weren't even home for Super Bowl? All that going on?
I flew home Sunday morning.
Oh man!
But yeah,
it's in the backyard.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, literally, if we'd have been on site at the Super Bowl like we have been the last 4 years, it was 45 minutes door to door.
It would have been. Yeah, it's probably better.
Yeah,
somebody was looking out for you.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so instead we did it so we're supposed to cook Thursday, Friday. We go up, we get in Saturday night, we get our COVID test on Sunday, so we can't go into the studio until our COVID test clears. 24 to 48 hours. We didn't do the rapid one because the rapid ones had a little hit and miss on it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, well, Tuesday we'll be able to get in the studio and get prepped on Wednesday. So we get our COVID results back on Monday, both negative, and it's snowing a foot an hour. Like, well, we can't go out shopping today. So then I text Dan and I said, hey, man, here's both of our negative COVID tests. He's like, oh, great, man, you can go shopping tomorrow. Why don't we cook Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday on the show? Oh, man. And I could never tell Dan no. So
yeah, so you made it happen?
I kind of looked at Julie and I'm like, man, what do you think about cooking Wednesday? She's like, well, if you can't tell Dan no, I can't tell him no. And I was like, you probably could. She's like, nope, I'm not telling him no. So we did Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and it was a lot of fun.
What's his crew like?
Oh, his crew's great, man. So they've got the Danettes. They're great guys, and then the executive producer of the show, Eric Jones, he's a really good guy. I mean, there's about 13 people up there, and if you've ever watched the show, the man cave that he's built,
that's cool. That's cool.
Dude, it's so rad, so rad. So we've got some
basketball court in it, don't I mean, inside, pretty much one hoop, right?
Yeah. So we just renewed with them for 2 more years, and
is that part of like a Traeger deal?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just thought Dan liked you.
No. We. So the funny part about how that relationship started, if I'm going too long, tell me.
Good.
So when I first started as an employee, Denny Bruce, which was our senior vice president of sales, marketing, operations, great guy. He's the CEO of Dickies now. I'd been there maybe 2 months, and he goes, "Hey, Chad, I'm working on something that we really haven't done here before." And I was like, "What's that?" He goes, "Then we're going to sponsor the Dan Patrick Show." And I'm like, he goes, "I think I want you to be like the dude for it." And I'm like, Yeah, you better. Like, I was like, I can remember my dad getting so mad at me as a kid with my little 13-inch TV in my room, watching, staying up late, like having it on like volume 3, laying right next to it, listening to Keith Oldman and Dan Patrick on the 11 o'clock Sports Center. I was like, I've been a Dan Patrick fan forever. So, long story short, a couple months go by, and then he goes, all right, we're going to do it, but Dan wants to taste food off the grill first. Like, he wants to know it's a product he can get behind, which one I respect the hell out of that. Most guys just take the check and figure it out later. So I said, oh, cool, when are we going? Like, well, all right, we're going to rent you an Airbnb up there. We'll have a bunch of grills show up, and you're going to cook for, 25 people. And so, all right, cool. I think I've now been with the company all of maybe 2 months and hadn't done a Traeger type event before where you've seen ours. I mean, very polished, all the accents, everything. Man, I'm out there. I'm doing like a barbecue guy, man. I got pop-up tables, white tablecloth. Hey, I don't know no different, Malcolm. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And I hadn't been learned up yet. And so, but cook a great meal. And I remember about 10 minutes before I'm going to serve and doing the whole thing. I cooked brisket, Snake River Farms brisket. Had a carving station set up, go carve it to order. And I hear Dan's manager go, well, he's talking to Denny. He said, hey, Denny, he's like, long week. I don't know if Dan will stay more than 10 or 15 minutes. Well, I look at that as a challenge. Yeah. So I take them burn-ins that got all cut up and caramelized. And I put them in the Yeti under me that I'm sitting on carving brisket. I figure I'll play the dumb redneck thing here in a minute. Yeah. So get all of them served. I look up there, and, Dan's about halfway through his plate. And I'm like, all right, perfect time. Open up the Yeti and got that big old bowl of burn-ins and kind of come up the stairs like, oh, shucks, guys, I forgot this is, but I guess I'm bringing it at the right time. This is what we call meat candy. These are burn-ins. Yeah. And, oh, man, yeah, we can't miss out on those. Yeah, you got to have that. I kind of put them in the middle of the table, and Dan's eating a couple, and I go to walk off, and he goes, hey, Chad, why don't you sit down? Why don't you tell me your story? Oh, really? And I'm like, oh, we're about to break this 10-minute barrier. Right? Hey, I ain't going to come up for air, son. I'm going to start telling it. And so it was.
You was giving them the full spiel, huh?
And so, I was born October 8th, 1976 in a small town of Lakeland, Florida.
3rd grade.
First grade teacher was Miss Lona Davis. But no, so we get to... I just get talking and telling about barbecue and how I started and this and that. And Denny and his manager are standing next to each other kind of below the deck. And he goes, I've never heard Dan let somebody talk this long. Oh, really? And then he goes, about 30 seconds later, he goes, Chad, I got to stop you right there. I'm going to talk to my manager about something real quick. He goes, look, I want to do this deal. And he goes, Denny, if we do the deal, if we don't do the deal, he's like, that guy's got to come on my show.
He's got to come back.
He's like, and if we do the deal, like, that's my guy, right? That's who I'm going to work with. Yeah. He's like, yeah, man, that's your guy. He's like, and we're going to do the deal. And so it kind of all got done right there. Awesome. And now I go back and, not only do everything with him with Traeger, but I mean, we probably talk once a week and go back and do him and his wife's Christmas party every year. Yeah. And it's just fun. I feel like part of the family when I go up there. I mean, but he's just an amazing guy and probably to me, one of the best sports journalist hosts in our lifetime.
Genuine too, yeah. I mean, he's good.
Yeah, just a real down to earth guy, and it's one of the driest sense of humor. And to just give you an insight of how Dan is, when we were up there for the Super Bowl this year, I said, "Hey man, we've got a guy that we kind of just hired. He's our product manager about bringing new products to market, this and that." I said, "Dude, he's a lifelong fan. Is there any way you'd send him a birthday message,
like a cameo type?"
Yeah,
deal?
And he's like, "Give me your phone." So he walks around the man cave like, hey, Alex, heard you just started here with Traeger. Not the over-under on you making it there. I'm going to go with the under. And just kind of just being Dan, you know what I mean? And so I send it to him, and he's like, dude, don't tell my wife this, but I'm pretty sure it's the best moment of my life, including my wedding and the birth of my child. Yeah. And just that's just how Dan is. He loves pleasing people. He loves the fact that people enjoy listen to his show. Yeah. And to be able to call a guy like that a true friend is pretty awesome.
That's cool. That's a great.
I know, that's a great story.
See, and all because of barbecue.
All because of barbecue, man.
Never would happen.
The great connector.
That's right. That's it. It really is. It is, man. It's a people connector.
I've always said, man, regardless of race, religion, political beliefs, I feel like any group of people can get around a table full of family style barbecue and have a good conversation, have a good time.
That's why I do it.
Yes,
sir. That's the only reason why I do it, really. No, I love it. And it's kind of like we get to share ourselves on a plate. You know what I mean? Yeah. part of your soul.
Exactly.
Every time you put it out there for somebody.
For sure, which we're going to do tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to.
You dang right.
I'll tell you what, if anybody leaves this grand opening tomorrow hungry, it's their own damn fault.
Right.
It's their own damn fault.
We've run out of refrigerator space for the meat. We're max capacity.
We've got about a 105 full of meat out there for our part.
Have you already been shopping?
Yeah, we went shopping this morning. Went shopping and went to Gus's. You got to go to Gus's.
Oh, yeah. Did you get some turnip greens?
I didn't.
Dude, they're green.
But I usually do.
Man.
I'll tell you what, 2 years ago, Memphis in May, I was here for 4 days and I ate at Gus's 4 times. I love that place, man. I love that place.
Do you go white or dark?
I went dark today.
Them thighs and legs are
That's
good,
what I went, man. 3-piece dark.
Yeah.
Mac and cheese and baked beans.
Yeah.
And what I like about their sides is they don't try to dress them up too much.
That's what it is.
They throw a couple things in the beans, which tightens it
And
up.
a light bread.
Yep, which I don't like runny beans, so it tightens them up just enough.
Yeah.
And mac and cheese is a box mac and cheese dressed up a little bit, but to me it just
what it is on a paper plate.
Yeah,
They ain't getting fancy.
on a disposable plate with a fine piece of white bread, like you said.
That's it. No. And you used to, I don't know if they still do. You used to get a 40 there.
Oh, you can.
You can still get the.
Well, I was trying to, Tyler. This is his first visit. Our customer service guy, and which, by the way, he's a big fan of yours. He was so geeked out to get to come to this, and so it's so cool for him. And he's like, you got, because I ordered sweet tea and. I ordered sweet tea. He's like, you guys mind? I was like, order you a beer. I was like, but it's got to be a 40. Yeah. Like, what other size options are there? She's like, 12, 24, or 40. He's like, I think I'll go 12. But our events guy that used to always come with us and do this, Kyle Fisher, he was always down for the lunch 40.
Yeah.
When we went, you got to do it, man.
They're in Rayford's. When you could have Memphis Made, do you ever end up at Rayford's one night? Like
no, never been.
Oh, if I have Memphis Made, we got to go.
Okay.
Can I? God. I mean, I don't know what night we'll have to go. We need to go on like Wednesday night or Thursday night.
Okay. I usually come in on Wednesday.
Yeah. We need to go to Rayford's.
Okay.
You don't get hopping there till, midnight 30. But go in there and everything's 40. I mean, it's like.
They sell, yeah.
That sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
40 slips.
Yeah.
Getting ready for Thursday.
That's it. Well, hey, I'm about ready for a margarita, man. You ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right. Shell, you got any other questions for Chad?
No, he's answered all of them. Well, actually, I do, but we'll ask those.
We'll save those for later. We still got the video to shoot, too.
That's right.
But we appreciate you coming and hanging out with us, especially sitting in and doing the podcast, man, and coming and helping us with this grand opening. You know how much I love Traeger, and,
yes, sir.
And being able to represent y'all here in Hernando, that means a lot to us. So we appreciate that opportunity.
Yeah, man. When you called and said, "Hey, man, I'm opening the shop. I'd love to carry Traeger," I don't think it took but another 1 or 2 phone calls. And we were able to make it all happen. But man, appreciate the love you've always given the brand. Appreciate being here, and so happy for you guys. I mean, this headquarters. I mean, if people get the if you're in Memphis, take the 40-minute drive and come over here and see the shop and see everything. But
we're gonna make those classes happen. So
yes, we are for sure.
We free that up. We're going on tour.
I love it. I love it, man. I love it. Well, thank you guys. We're gonna have an awesome weekend. Well,
before you get out, where can folks find you besides at Traeger?
Yeah, so you can find me at Whiskey Bent BBQ on Instagram and all that stuff, and then our website Whiskey Bent BBQ Supply. We've got a line of rubs that are also 6 rubs and a brine. So.
I gotta get some of your stuff in here, man. I don't have it.
I was gonna hit you with that.
Yeah, you wait till I had a margarita street.
I was gonna hit you with that soft sell sometime this weekend, old boy.
Hey, I don't mind.
No, and that's the fun thing is, I think sometimes, while we wrap up here, I don't think people realize how many of us that are in this barbecue game are dear friends and would do anything to help each other out.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's like, I got a store. I carry your stuff. You've got a store. You're soon going to be carrying my store. That's right. You know what I mean? And Heath that we're going to go have dinner with tonight. That's right. He's in my store, and we've all been friends for so long, and it's kind of cool because we've been fortunate enough and we worked hard enough at it that we've been able to build these brands and create these products and these followings, and we don't take any of it for granted, and we're super appreciative. Everybody that uses our stuff, follows us, cares about us, but we're all a big family. I mean, there ain't no I have people all the time say, well, this rub over this rub. And I'm like, well, why don't you try combining them? Why don't you try this one once and that one once? You know what I mean? Like, there's enough in that playground for all of us to have plenty of business. And I think that's great. And you being one of the, trailblazers, and, Matt Pittman's also always been good to me about talking about things or that kind of stuff. But I think it's also another thing is if you work hard enough and you have the vision and, you can do it.
That's it. I would rather be doing it in barbecue than anything else, man.
Completely agree with you, my friend.
Because you never meet. I mean, everybody's gold.
Absolutely.
Rachelle, where can they find us?
If you'd like to connect with Malcom, it's HowToBBQRight on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and now TikTok.
Did you shut your MySpace down?
I need to go back.
No, it might still be active.
If it is, I'd like to get a clip of it. Yeah. I got a jam playing. It was Green Onions.
Yeah.
It's still playing on it. I hope it's been playing the whole time. I can hear it now. Tom may be my only friend there. So.
Old Tom.
We used to spend a lot of time on.
Heck yeah, that's where I started. That was before a website. Before
Are you serious?
KillerHorse.com was MySpace.
We used to use MySpace to
that was our website.
Everything.
Yeah, if you want to come to our crawfish bowl, you had to get the invite on MySpace.
Oh, see, I always use that as a joke in my classes
Yeah.
about, hey, follow me on MySpace, and people laugh about it. I'd never had a MySpace. Little did I know you had to be on MySpace for the Malcolm Reed Crawfish Bowl invite.
You did, man.
We advertised everything there.
There's some good pictures on there. If you can ever find it, man. There ain't no telling what I look like back in the day. Yeah. Whew. Well, hey, we appreciate everybody listening, hanging out with us today. We will be back next week, and y'all check out the video me and Chad are going to do, cooking some spatchcock chicken and some Brussels sprouts. We're doing dinner on a Traeger.
Yes, sir.
We'll see y'all next time. We gone.